Okay, this is gonna be homework 13, CS50 homework session 12. We're gonna be dealing with, we're gonna be dealing with homework session 12, and we're gonna be dealing with two files, csh12.csh and hw12.sh. So on the right side is steps. Left hand side is my terminal, and I have the session week notes. So this week is pretty easy. It's just introducing us into this thing called the C shell. What we've been using so far is the bash shell, and we're going to be using the C shell now. So step 1, execute CS50 homework session 12. So I'm going to clear this. CS50 homework session 12. So, oops. Okay, well basically it's gonna have this. So it's gonna have nothing in it, and what you want to do is I want you to write a sample bash file called hw12.sh that starts with the question: are there any arguments on the command line? If there are no arguments on the command line, display the following message: please enter one or more arguments. So okay, easy enough. So what you want to do here is, well, first you want to do homework 13, .sh, Professor Hooper, and then I want to change it so it's more, so you can see it a lot more clearly. So change the color, and I want to do set number. Okay, and all you got to do really is say, if there are no arguments, then echo out, please enter one or more arguments. And then if there are arguments here, just say found argument xyz 1 2 3 d e f. So like what we did previously, how do we say, well, if there's no variables? So we just say if $, £, equal to 0. This basically means if there are no arguments, right, then just echo out, please enter one or more arguments, right? Easy enough. Let's go try it. So la dot slash, what do we have to do? Change mod plus x hw12.sh. Okay, and that way the color turns a little bit different. Dot slash sh. So there are no arguments, so it prints out please enter one more argument. So we're done with this one. So here we are on step 3, and what we want to do is, like, for each variable that comes out, we want to print out the arguments. It's found argument, and it prints out what it says. So here we're gonna have to use a for loop. It's pretty straightforward if you're familiar with the for loop. It's just for, and then whatever variable it is, you can kind of name it. Okay, no, don't do this again. Okay. For, let's just call it, I called mine ABC. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it XYZ, you can call it argument, you can call it whatever you want. For ABC, do, and what do you want to do with it? You want to say echo found arguments, and you want to do the variable name. And that's it. You just say done. So it's simple as that. I'm going to try and run it. Okay. And let's do ABC, DEF, GHI. See? And it does that. Hint, use a for loop. I did use that. So we're done with homework 12.sh. So here is, you can try this out. And I already did that and this one. So before you move on, you want to make sure that you have those two right. And step 5 is what you want to do is you want to do the exact same thing. You want to do like // homework12.sh. Lag in here. But what you want to do is you want to run it in the C shell, because right now this is a bash script shell. So you want to be able to do this CSH and then do csh12.csh, and you want it to run the same exact way. So it's the same concept, but we're just like using different languages. So like, for example, like, oh, you want to say, oh, how do I say excuse me in French? And if you know how to do that, all you really need to do is say, and if somebody says, how do you say excuse me in, like, I don't know, Spanish, Okay, that's not a very good example. But nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you know how to do one thing in one language, doing it in another language is the same thought process, but just a different way of, like, the language syntax is different, like the grammar, etc. Pretty sure you understood what I said there. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to create a csh.12.csh. And this is how you get into C Shell. You type in CSH, and you see how it changes? That's what happens. And exiting it out is just exit. So I'm going to do vim csh12.csh, and now I'm going to create another file. And I want it to say homework 13 csh 12.csh. Okay. Actually, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to say, so I already have all the contents in that file. So vim. And just change this to CSH. And there we go. So it's just a difference of syntax, and we want to execute these same things. I'm gonna comment it up here, and I'm gonna say no arguments. I'm just gonna arg equals 0, and here I'm gonna say arg 1 or plus. One or more. So we're going to do the same thing, but right now what we want to do is we want to run the C Shell script. So how do we do this? Well, first we just want to find if there's an if statement. So here we are. There's an if statement here. So in the sh which is the bash script example, this is how it looks like. But in CSH, we actually have to, if we want to set a variable, instead of just number equals, we have to do set what variable it is, and it has to equal the number. And this is more straightforward. We also need the then first, and echo is here. And here's the difference: is this one is fi for finish, and this is end if. So just a little bit of difference of syntax. So how are we going to write the one here? So this is what I did. I did how to ask for 0 variables in if statement, because they didn't have that example in the session notes. So okay, I already see it. So here we go. If $$ argv equals 0, echo there are no arguments. So that's exactly what we need. We want to say if there's no arguments, we want to say please enter one or more arguments. So what do we need to change? And look, if you see, like if you're already running in what's it called, in your if it's a .csh file, this color will be different. This is green and this is yellow. So if it's like all good, it should be the same color. But your terminal is smart enough to know that this is a .csh file and this color should match this one, but it's not. But if we change it to end if, it will change it. So I'm just gonna copy what's right here, which is basically $argv equals 0, and make sure these things are parentheses and not braces. I actually had quite a long, not a long time, but a little bit, a while to finally realize that that's a what was I gonna say? A parentheses. So not fi, end if. See, and it changes yellow. So let's try and run it. That's CSH. 12. If empty if. Oh no. I think then yeah. And the then needs to be up here. So CSH. Please enter one or more arguments. And this thing, it's because it doesn't know what's going on because it's still in the C Shell script. But at least we have this showing, which means that, okay, it kind of works. Okay. So let's go and fix this part. So this is already it. That's all you needed to do. You just needed to change a couple of syntax stuff, but it does the same thing. So for the for loop, we're gonna so this is what we're gonna use for the for loop. So in the sh example, for the shell script example, this is what we have: for abc, for arg, do, echo this, and then done. What we want to do is we just want to take that, which is what this is exactly, and just like kind of replace it with this. And what I like about this C shell is that it's a lot more cleaner. You don't have to have this do. So doing the same thing, this uses 4 lines compared to like this using 3 lines of code. So I'm just gonna honestly take this example and just post it up here, which I think will be good. For each arg, $, and all, I think that's what it is. And I'm gonna have spaces here too, just so it's the same with this one. And just echo found argument arg. Let's see if this works with for ABC. And it's not done too. See how it's green? That's kind of what got me there. So what it needs to be is, end. So that's it. Let's try it. csh12.sh. Please enter one or more arguments. csh12, abc, df, ghi. And there you go. It does the exact same thing as what this does. abc, df, ghi. And that's what you want. So if you get that, you'll be all good. Yep. Pretty easy, I would say. And it was kind of like pretty interesting to see that their shell scripts have different languages. But okay, just let me know if you have any questions or anything.